Hey folks, everything new under the sun. There's a couple of reasons why you might want an inverter. And those of you who are in the United States right now with all the grid situations that have occurred and that will occur in the future, especially with the stuff going on in Russia, Ukraine, the cyber attacks and such, this is one simple thing that everybody should have. It's very easy to get, and it's easy to store away for when you need it. You don't need a big, massive, multi-thousand-dollar home energy system to have some backup power when the grid goes down. You don't even need to buy a $1,000 gasoline generator. You have a generator probably in your driveway right now, and I'll explain. This is Amazon. Now, this is Amazon.ca, so for my American viewers, the prices will actually be cheaper for you. But these are some basic 12-volt inverters. And you can get some fancy ones like this 2,000 watt pure sine wave 12-volt DC to 112, 120-volt AC, 4,000 watt peak. Or you can get a cheap, a little 300 watt, like on the left there, inverter, where you plug it onto a battery, you can get 300 watts. Now, you really need to understand what you can and can't power with these things. If you're looking to run some lights and charge your cell phone, you could get something like this. You'll notice that it's so 300 watts, but you'll notice it has a USB on it and a couple of outlets, so you can charge up your devices, your phones, your iPads, possibly even run a USB-C computer. Although this may only be a 2 amp USB output there. Regardless, you could run a laptop certainly on the AC side of things as well. And what do you do with that? Well, you literally plug it onto a battery. So any 12-volt battery will do. Let me scroll that up there. There we go. And go over here. There. With the alligator clamps or the 12-volt socket. So what you can do is you can plug this into your car and run this inverter off your car battery until the car battery gets low. You don't want to get too low because you're not going to be able to start the car. But when the battery does get low, you can start the car, charge the battery, and continue to run the inverter. Now, this will work off, again, any standard, lead acid car battery or deep cycle battery, anything that's 12 volts, even lithium iron phosphate, your lithium batteries, etc. If you have a battery like that, you can plug it in. This will work on a motorcycle battery, a quad battery, whatever you may have, whatever vehicle you may have, probably has a battery to start it. You're going to be able to run this off of that. Now you get up into, you can't run fridges and freezers off 300 watts, but you can run fridges and freezers off, say, a 2,000 watt inverter, and that's what this one is. And I'll just again talk through it a little bit. So what you can do is, if you have some batteries, you can put a couple of deep cycle or just car batteries in parallel. And you can run this 12 volt DC to 120 volt AC inverter. Now, if you don't have multiple batteries in parallel here, it may be that there's not enough startup power to power this up to its full potential, i.e. 2,000 watts or 4,000 watts. You may only get 1,000 watts out of it if you have maybe a single battery or something. So your mileage may vary there. Regardless to say, you basically can, again, run this off a car as long as the car is running and providing amperage and electricity to the battery, charging it. Then you can continue to run this, and this will run your freezer and your fridge while it's on. Of course, you're not going to be able to run your car 24 hours a day, but you can run it for, if you have to, you can run it for an hour, 2 hours, and cool off your fridge, cool off your freezer, etc. Or run some significant devices, maybe your well pump. Now, you need to be careful about a well pump, because well pumps often draw quite a bit of power. And a 2,000 watt inverter, in this case 4,000 watt, that might be enough. That should be enough on paper to run a well pump. It should, on paper, run mine, but there is a surge surge wattage that often goes up into 2,000, 3,000 watts. So a 1,000-watt inverter is not going to be enough for a well pump, even though the well pump says 1,000 watts, because there's a surge wattage there and a load that takes place. But you can run this off your car. You can run this off potentially your quad, depending on the size of the battery there. Now, motorcycle batteries are getting pretty small, and there wouldn't be a lot of power there. But if you had a bunch of them, you could put those batteries in parallel, and you could run this off those, and that may work. And then you can charge everything up from the car when you've run those batteries dry, or you can get a couple solar panels. But this is one of those easy things. Buy one of these inverters. Be realistic about what you expect to run with it. It's not going to run everything, but get a 500-watt inverter, get a 1,000-watt inverter, and just put it away in your storage room. So when the lights go out and you've run out of all your options, you can plug one of these into your car and get some power for your critical items. It's just one more option, and even if you don't use it, it could come in handy down the road. And this is a real cheap way, considering the price of a gas generator, again, which is $500 to $1,000. This may be a much easier route to go in a pinch. If you only need limited power, maybe for an hour or two a day, you could go this route. So I just wanted to put that out there as a bit of a prepping thing with all the grid situations going on. This is just one more thing you can do to kind of be prepared for that. Thanks for watching. I'll leave it there, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll try and answer them.